competition. That's right. Her success is your success, and your success is her success. Stop competing. Stop it, okay? There is no equality in a relationship. It's like, we equals. No, you're not. You're both there to serve. You are in the service industry, okay? That's right. When you're in a relationship, you're in a band. And when you're in a band, you have roles that you play in the band. Sometimes you sing lead, and sometimes you're on tambourine. And if you're on tambourine, play it right. Play it right. Play it with a fucking smile.
People that are your fans can be your critics. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, I could maybe say a Prince album I don't like, which there are none, but you know what I mean? Because I listen to Prince.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm fine.
I was bused to school. It was pretty, you know, it's whatever, man. People, you know, were mean and they called you nigger and whatever and spit on you and threw BCs and piss and whatever at you, and, you know, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. It made me stronger. I'm not here without it. You can't faze me with meanness because of it. So, you know, that was my grade school experience. Grade school, high school, junior high school.
Some jobs can't have bad apples, okay? Some jobs, everybody gotta be good. Like pilots. Some jobs you have to be totally accountable. You have to have a zero tolerance for any shenanigans. I'm a total fucking weirdo. Anybody that knows me has been around me. It's like, what's up with that guy? Does he like me? You know how many people fucking say that shit, think I don't like him? I suffer from big ego, low self-esteem. And when I say big ego, it's only about telling jokes. If it's got something to do with my work, I'm the baddest motherfucker alive. But anything else, it's like I just feel not worthy of anyone's attention, anyone's love, any accolades, just anything.
Everything you do, you have to do it like it's the last thing you're ever gonna do. And, you know, to get maximum effort out of it. But it also goes when you start something, it's almost like it has to be a calling. Again, you know, like we're all like preachers. I was called into stand-up. I was called into comedy. And, the next project has to be something that just calls me. You know what I mean? I'm a decent businessman, you know, but I just really have to be emotionally attached to something.
People try to tell you not to say things all the time, but I practice everything. It's not like I ever get up there and think of something on stage or think of something on TV. I'm pretty much, tried it out.
Yeah.
And honestly, sometimes if it's the right person telling me not to do something, I go, ooh, I got something here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you don't like it? It must be good.
I just keep moving, because here's the thing with me. I don't take the adulation that serious. Because if the New York Times says, oh, he's a genius, and I just run around going, I'm a genius, the New York Times says I'm a genius, then if they say I'm an idiot, I gotta say that too. That has to be important to me too. So I find that if I don't pay attention to any of it, then I can ignore the bad stuff.
Yeah.
That's me. A lot of people take, the criticism more to heart. I just worry about my fans. That's it. That's the only people I'm worried about.
When you say worry about your fans, you mean by that what?
I'm just concerned with what my fans feel, like how they feel about the art, how they feel about the movie, how they feel about just me as a person. The people that are into me, not the people that aren't into me.
I always liked comedy. I was always interested in comedians, even when I was a kid when I was 7 years old. I thought Bill Cosby was unbelievable, and I thought, Richard Pryor and Don Rick, all these guys, I would watch the Dean Martin roast and all of that stuff, Abbott and Costello. At every point in my life, there's no point where I wasn't obsessed with comedy. And I'm still obsessed to this day, So, it was just a natural thing for me to do. My father never really saw what I became. He never really saw it. He met Eddie Murphy, actually. That was like kind of cool for him. But my father's like Richard Pryor, man. So that wasn't even, it was like half a big deal. Oh, that's your friend? Yeah, I guess he's funny. It's like, it wasn't really a big deal meeting Eddie Murphy. But my father never saw any of this stuff.
So he passed away.
My dad died in '88 he had an ulcer explode. So if you have an ulcer, get it checked out. It triggered a bunch of other stuff. He had high blood pressure, he had diabetes, he was just old, he was just poor and working since he was like 12. And and didn't have a good diet, and his body just gave out.
Do you regret that he didn't get to see you succeed?
Oh, I mean, I think about it probably every day. But also, sometimes tragedy can be the best thing. Would I feel the need to have the drive I do if he was alive?
Right.
Because, he was my safety blanket. And, without the safety blanket, it's like, okay, a part of me is just constantly trying to create that again, trying to create security. That's like trying to make money and trying to, write movies all the time. And, I'm like always...
You're not resting on your laurels.
Yeah, I'm not resting. For a guy that's been doing this a long time, I'm not really resting. And part of that is just trying to recreate the security I had as a child. And that's never gonna happen. But I can do it for my kids. I'm never gonna be secure again. But my kids can.
So I thought about quitting. I thought about it real hard. But I realized they're gonna have the Oscars anyway. They're not gonna cancel the Oscars because I quit, And the last thing I need is to lose another job to Kevin Hart, okay? I don't need that. Kev right there. Kev make movies fast. Every month. Porno stars don't make movies that fast. Now, the thing is, why are we protesting? That's the big question. Why this Oscars? Why this Oscars? It's the 88th Academy Awards. It's the 88th Academy Awards, which means this whole no black nominees thing has happened at least 71 other times. Okay? You gotta figure that it happened in the 50s, in the 60s. In the 60s, one of those years, Sydney didn't put out a movie. I'm sure there were no black nominees some of those years, say 62 or 63, and black people did not protest. Why? Because we had real things to protest at the time.
There was something in my head that said, if I can learn to swim, I can do anything. If I can conquer this in my 50s, I can do anything. I wrote a joke years ago, one of my favorites, because I just sit around and admire my own writing. If you haven't read anything till you've read my prose. Anyway, I wrote this joke, and the joke went like this. It was like, all my black friends have a bunch of white friends, and all my white friends have one black friend. It's kind of like a you to all my white friends. I don't know, the book is a compilation, like people sent me stories of their interracial friendships. So it's like my first black friend and my first black boss and my first black boyfriend. As crazy as the world is right now with race, it's tearing the world apart, and it always has. Even though everything's going on right now and George Floyd and all this stuff is going on, it ain't 1964. It ain't 1958. Black people and white people and Asian people and Latin people and everybody, we are hanging out more than ever. So on one hand, yes, we are not getting along. On another hand, we party
hard together, okay? A great coffee table book. If you're white, this is a great, hey, I'm not racist. I got the Chris Rock book. Hey, this is the movie the week of me and one of my closest friends, the incomparable, the genius, Adam Sandler. Me and Sandler started out together. And you know what's weird? Everybody, and I don't want to say names, but everybody's getting mad at a lot of people for having hostile work environments, right? And the reality is the police, it's a hostile work environment if you're a black person. So, I mean, it's a hostile work environment to get pulled over. It's a hostile work environment to live in certain neighborhoods, you know? It'd be nice if we had the same resources that people have that work on TV shows and stuff. It's like, that's all we're complaining about. It's a hostile environment. How can we change this?
I know, it's true.
Oh, man, but I love religion, man. I love watching religion, studying religion. The cool thing about religion is like, no matter who you pray to, no matter what you study, every religion follows one basic premise, one basic idea that every religion follows. And that premise is God doesn't make mistakes. Not only was I not a good enough actor maybe 10, 15 years ago, I didn't have the gravitas. I haven't lived the life, you know what I mean? But now, you know, I've lived a life and I can use those things in my acting. I can use actual pain. I can use actual loss.
Would you like more serious roles? Is that what you want?
I would like more serious roles. I just want to be in good stuff. You know, hey, comedy's great. Comedy's been good to me. I forgive. I forgive. It made me who I am. I'm also like, people get better. And people change. So, I mean, right now we're going through this thing where we're punishing people for thinking and feeling and saying things 20, 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. You know how easy it would be for me in one of my specials to like name a name or show a picture and go, this person called me in 4th grade and ruin someone's life. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna assume all my bullies are better people. I'm gonna pray to God, and I'm gonna hope that what they did to me shames them on some level, and they teach their kids better. Yeah. That's
your wish for them.
That's my wish for them.
Relation with your parents, it stems from, you went through this, you and I have this in common, like you went to a black school, I went to a white school. And you have this childhood trauma that you haven't dealt with. And you think you've dealt with it because you're on the radio and you talk about it and you made a lot of money. And I think I've dealt with it because I can write jokes about it, but I never dealt with it. That was just a horrible existence. The closest character I can relate to is Tim Robbins in The Shawshank. Every day was hell. I was a nigga, and I got fucking my ass beat, and I got physically fucked up, and sometimes some sexual shit happened, and yeah, like, I wasn't rape, but rape-ish. When we do anything, I mean, I'm sure like you've been writing for a long time, and if you look at something you wrote 10 years ago, you're like, oh my God, did I think this was decent? So it's not that I was bad, it was just when I look back at it, it's like, wow, I did not even have an inkling of what I was doing until about 8 years in. My dad's father was a preacher. I used to spend a lot of time with him. I would watch him write his sermons. I pretty much do what he did. He'd write the topics, and then he would riff on the topics, and I kind of do comedy like he preached.
Is there also like another relationship? Because when you're delivering a sermon, you are trying to get at a truth.
You are trying to get at a truth. I mean, I watch reverends as much as I watch comedians. I watch T.D. Jakes every Sunday. I watch Joel Osteen every Sunday.
Now, why?
Because they're really good performers, and they're doing exactly the same thing I'm doing. They're just going for a different thing.
Don't you remember the name of every kid who beat the shit out of you?
I was doing a movie a couple of years ago, and one of my bullies was working security on the movie.
Shit.
A guy who literally one day in school turned me upside down and shook the money out of my pockets. And I'm filming a scene. This is a top 5. And I look and I'm like, is that B? I'll just say B. And he nodded, kind of ashamed, he was kind of ashamed. And I just gave him just a quick look like, hey man, I hope you're doing well. You take care. And I kept it moving. I didn't get him off the set, get him fired. It's like his sin has punished him. He could have been my friend.
Right.
You know what I mean? He could have been in the trailer with us watching The Godfather. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that he had to go through that whole day and watch me walk around and watch me, I was directing a movie, and watch me be me in all my glory, and to be so close to me, but yet so motherfucking far.
Right. You got your revenge. Yeah.
I didn't have to do anything. You ever watch Bugs Bunny? Bugs
all
Bunny.
the time.
When did Elmer Fudd get really mad at Bugs Bunny? Not when he shot him in the face with an anvil. Not when he hit him over the head with a rock. You know when Elmer Fudd got really mad? When Bugs Bunny kissed him.
Yeah, that's true.
That's when he would lose his mind. And when somebody does you wrong, just give him a kiss.
And anybody in this room that's ever been in love will testify to this shit. If you haven't contemplated murder, you ain't been in love. If you haven't thought about killing a you ain't been in love. If you haven't had a can of rat poison in your head and looked at it for 45 minutes straight, you ain't been in love. If you haven't bought a shovel and a bag and a rug to roll their ass up in, you ain't been in love. If you haven't practiced your alibi in front of the mirror, you ain't been in love. And the only thing that stopped you from killing this was an episode of CSI. I better make up. They might catch my ass. That's right, man. See, relationships are hard, man. But for any relationship to work, both people have to be on the same page. Both people have to have the same focus. That's right. And we all know what that page is. We all know what that focus is. In order for the relationship to work, both people have to have the same focus. And what's that focus? The focus is all about her. It's all about her. She's already there, fellas. She's waiting for you to come aboard. Fellas, when you wake up in the morning, you should look yourself in the mirror and say, now let's go out there and try to make this happen. Yes, it's all about her, fellas. Say yes to everything. Everything. Everything you could afford, say yes to. Just say yes. Another thing, fellas, don't argue. You cannot win. You cannot beat a woman in an argument. It's impossible. You will not win. Because men, we are handicapped when it comes to arguing. Because we have a need to make sense. Try your best to make her happy. Try your best. But here's one thing nobody tells you. You can't make a woman happy. It's impossible. I've never met a happy woman in my life. Women always complaining about something. Shit, women like to complain. Women say complain about. Oh, he don't even know I know, but I'm gonna get his ass on that next month. They like complaining. They love it, no matter what you do.
Right.
Drama is whatever you want it to be. Mm-hmm. When you make drama, you're like Picasso, and it's like, okay, whatever. When you make comedy, you're not that kind of painter. You're like a painter down at the promenade painting portraits to people. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, oh, you want more blue in your eyes? Well, I'm gonna put more blue in your eyes. you want to be taller? Okay, you're taller. You know, I'm one of those guys.
Right.
Like that's so. When you make comedy, you make it for the people, and you try to have as many screenings and do as many tests, and you do focus groups, and you read the cards, and you try to get the people what they want in this comedy, man.
Yeah.
could have done something more contrived. Yes, I could have done something where my partner is killed. I'm a cop and they kill my partner and I have to get revenge on the killers of my partner. I could have done that movie, which everybody does. And it probably would have been bigger than Top 5, honestly. But it would have been better. Would have been better. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to do the best work I can. Work that I can be proud of later on. Work that, works on different levels. A good movie or a good stand-up is different every time you watch it.
You have to tell the truth.
What is the hardest truth for you?
Sometimes I wasn't kind, and sometimes I wasn't listening, and sometimes I was selfish. And ultimately, who do you want to be?
And what is the answer? What have you learned about yourself?
On the outside, it looks like I'm like this daring person. But boy, can I play it safe. And yeah, I need to jump in the pool a little bit. You know what I mean? My interest is always like, what haven't I seen? Mm-hmm. Some guys watch stuff and go, I want to do a movie like that. And I watch movies and I go, okay, I don't want to do that because I saw it. Now, what can I come up with? And I haven't seen this movie.
Yeah.
And I really haven't seen this movie with a black person. You know what I mean? So that's me. It's, it gets me into trouble sometimes, but I'm just kind of curious that way. Like, okay, can we see a new movie?
It's a shame that we're so used to what happened, it's almost not news. Like, news is supposed to be things that are out of the ordinary, that happen every day, not things that happen every day. And yeah, unfortunately, a story like Breonna Taylor is just so common. And yeah, it's so sad. It's so sad. I feel for everyone involved. If it's the right person telling me not to do something, I go, ooh, I got something here.
I think Jay-Z said it best, like, make your first your last. Mm-hmm. Everything you do, you have to do it like it's the last thing you're ever gonna do.
I'm just trying to do the best work I can. Work that I can be proud of later on.
Some guys watch stuff and go, I want to do a movie like that. And I watch movies and I go, okay, I don't want to do that because I saw it. When I see this thing play in front of an audience, people go crazy.
You can't make a woman happy. It's impossible. I've never met a happy woman in my life.
At every point in my life, there's no point where I wasn't obsessed with comedy.
Men lie, we live lies. That's why we so crazy. Every now and then we catch ourselves living a lie. We create a whole lie world around us. You got a career, there ain't enough time in the day. There ain't enough time. When you got a career, you look at your watch, time just flies. You're like, God damn, whoa, it's 5:35. Damn, I gotta come in early tomorrow and work on my project. Because there ain't enough time when you got a career. When you got a job, there's too much time. That's right, you look at your watch like, shit, 9:08. You don't even trust the time when you got a job. You're like, what time you got? 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 9:15? Whoever got the latest time is the right time. He got the right time. He got the right time. You ever play the time game with yourself at work? You ever play the time game where you go, I'm not gonna look at my watch for 2 hours. That's right, I'm gonna sit here and scrape these shrimp. Scrape, 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 scrape. Okay, an hour's passed. Maybe I should look and feel good. Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna wait a whole nother hour. Scrape, 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 scrape. All right, 2 hours passed. Time to look and feel good about myself. And you look, fuck, 15 minutes. You ever been so miserable at work that you spend extra time just sitting on the toilet? You don't even have your pants down. You're just like, I hate this fucking job.
I don't have this attitude like I'm gonna be a has-been tomorrow. I'm gonna lose everything. I'm not living in fear like I was.
I got my kids. I got my custody. It's beautiful.
Your life is your love, is your relationships. Everything else you do is your job.
Love who you with and appreciate what you got. Don't take life for granted.
I'm looking at the man in the mirror. You got money, you got fame, but you're sitting here by yourself. I gotta look deep inside and hold myself accountable. But family to the end. Even though you're divorced, you're still family.
Ultimately, my relationship with my kids is gonna determine my happiness.
At my funeral, if you're talking about my jokes, I have failed as a father.
I have a hard time picking up social cues. Like when I talk to people, I hear the words, but if you're mad at me, if you're feeling a certain way, I might have a hard time picking that up.
You got somebody you love, hold tight. That's right, hold fucking tight. Commit. Don't be the one that's always threatening to leave. That's right, love hard or get the fuck out. If you're gonna leave, leave right now. That's right, at the show, right now. That's right, just break up. We got break up booths in the back. That's right, but before you leave, you better make sure you got some options. That's right, because some of y'all been in relationships so long, you don't know how ugly you are. That's right. Love hard or get the fuck out. I kind of have a hard time with nonverbal cues with people. I've always have. I didn't know I did, but I'm great with words. I can hear and I can but most communication, they say 70% of all communication is nonverbal. So my relationships, even with my family or women I dated or whatever, it was always something a little off. And I couldn't put my finger on it. And being diagnosed with it has put me in a position where I have a specialist, I got doctors, I got, certain medicines and stuff that help me deal with it. And honestly, with anything, once you're diagnosed, it opens it up to you. Everything's easier once you're diagnosed.
It's like the world's cold as a motherfucker, okay? When you get older, one thing I learned, only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. Women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is only loved under the condition that he provides something.
A man gonna be a man. A man is basically as faithful as his options. That's how faithful a man is. No more, no less. And you see all these fat Republican guys going, I would never do such a thing. This is a travesty. I'm like, nobody's trying to blow you. Ain't no 20-year-old girls trying to blow Orrin Hatch. Ain't nobody trying to get Newt Gingrich some. I don't give a fuck. You ain't never gonna hear Newt Gingrich go, man, I wish these hoes would back up off me. I wish they would just back the fuck up off a brother. Let her play a play. Shit. That's right. It's damn near impossible for a man to turn down sex. It's hard for a man to turn down sex. If we can stop chasing it, and even that requires some rehab. But it's hard for a man to stop. Woo, turn what? If it chases us, we can't run that fast. It gonna catch us. We're like, shit. Pull the hamstring. It got me. You can't run that fast. See, it's easy for women to turn down sex. It ain't shit for y'all to turn down sex. It ain't no thing for y'all to turn down sex. Y'all like, how come why can't you turn it down? I do it all the time. Why can't you say no? Friends and family are healthy. I lost a lot of people, man. But
Sorry to hear that.
The ones that are here are doing well, and you gotta appreciate what you have.